I actually think feminism is the most bullshit thing ever. People think that
modern feminists are literally the destruction of women's rights.
What is your stance on modern day feminism?
It's failed women.
We were really sold this boss babe life.
Seems many women are realizing that feminism is a lie sold as empowerment.
Men, chime in. Would you date a woman who makes more money than you?
Feminism is dead. It is dead as a doornail.
Here's where I call bullshit on feminists. You guys want to be treated equal? Okay, how about men go to you and say, you need to make 6 or 7 figures.
If a man did that today, they would call him sassy, weak for not letting himself get played. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
I don't really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart.
So girls say stuff like this, and then they just wonder why men these days are suspicious and take a while to open up and maybe don't trust women.
Currently, right now, with the way my bank account looking, I genuinely can't even afford to be a feminist. Like, with the way my bank account looking, you have to pay for our dates or we're not going out. I'm being serious. Like, I'm genuinely like, I currently am not in a position to where I can date somebody that like can't like pay for us to go out to eat or like pay for us to whatever.
No, because you can't live with the fear of a Venmo request.
Get a job. We are in a post-feminist era. Feminism is dead. It is dead as a doornail. It is dead. Feminism is dead. Third wave feminism has betrayed women. It has betrayed men. It has betrayed families. It has betrayed children. It has betrayed our culture. Third wave feminism exists to subjugate men. Period. They have replaced the patriarchy with the matriarchy. Third wave feminism tells us that masculinity is toxic. Masculinity isn't toxic. Masculinity is marvelous. Feminism is dead.
I agree. What we're seeing today is just the last batch of chronic sufferers in feminism. Women who have been completely consumed by the ideology and can't see the damage it has done. I'm pretty sure most people support true equality, but this modern version of feminism isn't about equality at all. It's pure hatred. Hatred toward men simply for being men. Women today claim that masculinity is toxic, blaming men for everything wrong in the world. But the moment men soften up, show vulnerability, or try to be more emotionally available, these same women mock them, call them weak, and lose all respect for them. It's a no-win situation. The hypocrisy is undeniable. They say they want strong, capable men, but then do everything they can to tear men down and strip them of the very qualities that make them attractive in the first place.
Feminism is dead, and we killed her. Not because we've lost or won the war of gender equality, but because the label itself is non-functional. I could tell you I'm a feminist, and you would have no real idea what I mean.
I don't get you guys on this app because you're like, I want to be independent, rich, and successful, but then I also want a sugar daddy. Like, babe, you can do both. Okay? I'm very successful, but I'm also engaged to a rich old man. Like, I'm not going to spend my own money when I can spend his. Ew, I'm pretty. Get it together.
What's your price?
The reason why so many men used to want to do so much more for women and today they've just become complacent and they don't want to do it anymore and they just complain about women is because women used to be more worth it. Women used to actually be women who took care of their man, who were happy, who were gentle, who were soft, who were caring, and who wanted the best for their man. Nowadays, they fight men all the time. So men naturally don't want to do things for them anymore. And then they complain about women. So if we want men to be the way they used to be, then women need to change and become how they used to be as well.
I agree. And that's exactly what so many men have been saying. Women used to be worth the pursuit, worth the effort, and worth building a life with. Men were willing to go the extra mile because they knew they were stepping into something meaningful, something that added value to their lives. But today, in this era of modernity, it feels like those days are gone. For many men, chasing modern women has become a waste of time, energy, and resources. The expectations from women today are baffling. Many demand that men step up. But what exactly are men stepping up to? Entitlement. A mountain of bills that men are solely responsible for. Endless stress in a relationship where they're expected to give everything but receive nothing in return. And for what? A partner who constantly critiques them, refuses to compromise, and brings drama instead of peace. That's not a partnership, that's a one-sided transaction.
Listen, y'all, I am not the most ladylike girl out there, but if there's one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let my man lead whenever we are out and about together. I'm going to step away from that door. I'm not lifting up a finger. No. I'm going to let him walk with his masculine energy, and I'm going to sit back and be my feminine, ladylike self.
What rights do you think that men have that women don't today?
There's no law saying employers can't fire you if you're pregnant. That's something a man never has to worry about. Or for instance, you can only be affected by that law if you have a womb.
Well, but don't you think that's just kind of explained by biological differences, right?
But why does that justify making a law anyway? That literally discriminates women.
That's enough!
Oh man, how embarrassing. You totally had a typo. You're talking about statistics surrounding single mother households causing criminals. I think that you meant households where the men left the women to raise the child completely by themselves. Because women are better human beings, and that's how they operate. Nice try, though. Good job.
Yeah, this is nonsense. There are no facts to support the idea that women are better human beings than men. This is just another example of how society pushes a narrative that favors women while ignoring reality. And is there even any evidence that the man actually left? Or is this just another case of him being pushed out by the mother? If there's no proof, then this is nothing more than a biased opinion. Women love to claim that fathers abandon their kids, but in most cases, that's just not true. The reality is that the man isn't leaving his child, he's leaving her. All this woman did was create facts out of nonsense, twisting reality to fit her own biased narrative. The idea that men just walk away from their children is one of the most overused and false accusations out there. In many cases, men don't leave their kids. They're pushed out by the mother, whether through manipulation, false allegations, or a legal system that overwhelmingly favors women in custody battles.
There is nothing society loves more. There is nothing that society makes more money off than a woman who hates herself, than a woman who hates how she feels in her body, than a woman who doesn't feel good enough. This is what they teach us because that's what they thrive off.
I'm kind of convinced I'm not actually a feminist, because I'm a feminist until it's mildly inconvenient for me. I'll be like, it's so unfair that women have to take on the majority of the childbearing responsibilities. That sucks. And then I'll work 1 8-hour day and I'll be like, oh, I understand why men complain so much. I don't want to do this. And then I'll go to school and I'll be like, sorry, Malala. I just can't. I don't understand. So yeah, maybe you just let me be a housewife and leave me in a home.
What is your stance on modern day feminism?
It's failed women. It's failed women. It's failed women. It doesn't matter that they outnumber you. I always feel badly. They are fighting a cause that is detrimental to the life of the unborn and to young women, and it puts them on a wrong path. You have to speak up. The feminists are wrong. There's a reason why 40, 50-year-old single women are desperately trying to get pregnant. That employment world and careers didn't seem to quite satisfy their true needs.
The bottom line is, those women who prioritize their careers are regretting it. It's a classic case of buying into the lie that they don't need families, or that they have all the time in the world to settle down and start one. Now, many of them find themselves struggling to conceive, facing biological realities they can't escape. It's a harsh reality, but ultimately, it's the path they've chosen to walk. Now, many of these women are realizing too late that they've traded something priceless for a fleeting sense of independence. They find themselves chasing the very things they were told they didn't need: love, companionship, and children. Fertility struggles, loneliness, and the ticking of the biological clock are harsh reminders that no amount of career success can replace the deep sense of connection and purpose that family often brings.
Yeah, I totally think we're inferior. Women don't belong on the front lines in war. Cry. We can't do the same thing men can do. Men can't do the same things we can do. Cry. If that's misogynistic to you, whatever. You whatevers are shameful to the original feminists. All you guys do is hate men and anybody who does not agree with you. You think women belong in the workforce? Fine. I believe women should stay home. But on that same note, if you don't want kids and you want to work, fine. You want kids and you want to work, fine. But don't you dare shame a mom for staying home and not contributing financially.
Here's where I call bullshit on feminists. You guys want to be treated equal? Okay, how about men go to you and say, you need to make 6 or 7 figures? That is fucking crazy and extremely unattainable for most women. Second of all, say you're a guy and you don't come for money and you fucking spend all your time, all the best years of your life. You're going to fucking school, you're hustling, you're finally making 6, 7 figures. I'm sorry, what are you going to want to do? You're going to want to run around, have fun because you deserve it, get your fucking dick sucked by every hot girl in sight, which I am absolutely not throwing shade as female. I completely understand that. And it's like, yeah, and then what? You're going to go settle down with a 5? That even if you are going to settle, that bitch is going to be a solid 10. I don't even understand. I'm a woman and I understand this. I don't understand how others can't. It's like, come on, dude. He put in the work. He deserves it. You don't.
I agree. When I was poor, I was always chasing women. Now that I have money, I don't want them. As someone who makes a top 1% income, you immediately have all the options and all the bargaining power. Feminism is feminism. Until feminists find being a feminist is inconvenient to the females. As many of us can see, feminism today is more like a war on men than a push for equality. It's become a platform for unrealistic standards and double standards in many cases. But just to entertain this thought for a moment, imagine if a man said to a woman that she must be 6 feet tall, have a six-pack, and earn 6 figures for him to even consider dating her. That would be absolutely absurd, right? Now, let's take it a step further. If men started publicly expressing such demands, it wouldn't just be called crazy, it would spark outrage. Women would accuse men of being shallow, objectifying women, and holding them to impossible standards. Yet when some women make similar demands, they dress it up as knowing their worth, or having high standards. What we're seeing now, though, is a one-sided game where some women feel entitled to criticize men's preferences while demanding perfection in return. It's hypocrisy.
I don't think modern-day feminists want equality between men and women. I think they want to be men.
If women are independent and can do it on their own, why do they still want a man to take care of them?
Because it still feels nice to feel like a feminine girl, be protected, be taken care of.
It just feels good. Like you want someone there, like to protect you and like to like, even though like I'm very independent, like I want a man that I know like will get in front of a train for me. Like I can defend myself, but.
Do women want to be independent while also being provided for? And if so, who's more delusional in their wants?
I believe yes. And probably the women are a little delusional, but that's just part of our charm, our spark, our flavor. I'm delusional. I'm the definition of delusion.
You need help. Amazing, huh? Women love to claim they're independent, strong, self-sufficient, and capable of doing everything on their own. But the moment it comes to relationships, suddenly, they expect a man to take care of them financially, emotionally, and even physically. The contradiction is laughable. The thing with these women is that they want to cherry-pick independence, claiming they're strong and empowered when it benefits them, but conveniently falling back into traditional expectations when it's time for the man to step up and handle all the responsibilities. This is why so many men are done playing the game. The double standards are obvious, and more men are waking up to the reality that modern independence is just a marketing slogan. When push comes to shove, a lot of these women still expect a man to fund their lives while they contribute the bare minimum.
Fun fact, at the age of 25, 50% of your eggs die, and around 30, about 90% of your eggs die. Considering it's completely taboo to have a child at the age of 17, which is actually biologically one of our prime times to bear a child. And you have to wait until you get a college degree or else your life is over. So realistically, you have a very tiny time frame from, say, the age of 21 to maybe 30 to really find a mate, bear a child, and create a family, whereas you have the next 30 years to build a career. Society sold us a lie.
The reason why so many men used to want to do so much more for women, and today they've just become...
But one thing I want to add too is that because women have told them not to, there are countless videos, like on this app alone, of women getting mad at men for opening the door, for the sidewalk rule, for pulling out their chair. They call it benevolent sexism. And then they turn around and be like, why are all the good men? Why don't men do these things anymore? Chivalry is dead. Well, yeah, because you guys killed it.
So I am a strong, independent woman. I know that I'm a raging feminist, and I, most of the time, have zero desire to ever be with a man, especially in the political climate that we're in right now. But the only time in my life that I ever am like, it would be so nice to be married to a man is whenever I need anything done for my vehicle. When I need my oil changed, when I need my tires rotated, when I need a new car battery. I would love nothing more than to be like, oh, that's my husband's job. That is not my job. But unfortunately, I have yet to find a man that meets my standards. So I'm about to go to the O'Reilly's to get myself a new car battery. And I'm not gonna let those people manipulate me, even though I'm a small, blonde woman. Because I just got hyped up on the phone from my father, who was like, tell them that you need exactly this. And if they say something to me that I don't understand, I will have to call my dad. But I wish I had a husband in this exact moment in time. No!
Any woman who only wants a man when it's convenient is nothing more than a user. She doesn't see men as partners, protectors, or providers. She sees them as tools to be used whenever she needs something. And a perfect example of this is this raging feminist right here. Loud and proud about not needing a man, claiming to have no desire for male companionship, except when it comes to things like a man fixing her car. Suddenly her independence disappears, and she expects a man to step in and handle the tough work. What does that say about her and how she views men? Simple. She doesn't respect them. She doesn't see them as human beings with value outside of what they can do for her. To her, men are only useful when they can solve her problems. The rest of the time, she treats them as disposable, unwanted, or even oppressive. But when she's stranded on the side of the road with a dead battery, or when she needs someone to lift heavy furniture, or when the bill arrives at dinner, suddenly men become very important again.
Men, chime in. Would you date a woman who makes more money than you? And this is for the 40 and over crowd.
So what social media is doing, what this woke culture is doing, is destroying femininity and replacing it with narcissism and telling them that's feminism.
What's your age?
I am 27.
Are you single?
Yes, I am.
What's dating like for you?
It sucks. It really, really sucks. It's not fun. It's more trouble than it's worth.
Do you feel like it was easier when you were 21?
Yeah, I think it was easier because my standards were lower. The older I'm getting, the more my standards are going up, and the more I'm like, it's only worth it if someone really shows me that it is worth it.
So at 21, what's the soonest you would give it up to a guy?
A few hours of talking, I guess, like at a club.
But at 27, no.
I'd probably hold out like 3-4 months.
But do you think it's realistic to meet a man now in 2024 who's willing to wait 4 months to, you know?
I think it's really realistic because I feel that regardless of the dating pool, I think that I have hope that there still is really good guys out there. But so far I haven't seen them, but I'm hopeful that there still are that would be willing to wait and see that I'm worth it.
You just can't make this up, can you? Back when this woman was younger, She was out here letting any random dude at the club get a turn. No standards, no waiting period, just vibes and bad decisions. But now that she's older, has matured, and suddenly wants to be taken seriously, she's making the good men wait 3 or 4 months to get a turn. The audacity is unreal. What changed? It's not self-respect. It's strategy. When she was young and at her peak attractiveness, she gave it away easily to the men she actually wanted, the ones who didn't respect her, didn't commit, and left as soon as they got what they wanted. But now that those guys don't want her anymore, she's looking for a nice guy to settle down with. And suddenly, she wants to play the "I'm a lady now" card. She's not withholding because she values herself. She's doing it because she has to. I'm afraid to hear her body count. She went from someone that would give it up within a few hours to want a guy to wait months.
Tell me, what is something they told you in school that you found out is a complete lie?
In high school, they said that women fought really hard to vote in the women's suffrage movement. Turns out that's a lie. They did a survey of like 575,000 women, and 96% of them did not want the right to vote. They didn't want to be involved in politics or the government. They wanted to stay home, take care of the kids, do what they loved at that point. So yeah, that blew my mind.
Feminism very much touts equality, but the minute that a woman chooses to embrace her femininity and stay in the house, basically, and just be provided for by her husband, people have a problem with it. Feminists have a problem with it. And you have to ask yourself, like, what is that about? Feminism touts that everyone is equal and treat everyone the same and women supporting women. And then time after time, we see on this app is such an amazing tool for qualitative data. You go to any comment section of any stay-at-home wife or mom, and you get just floods of other women attacking these women. Like, feminism is not just about equality and just about so women could have the choice. No, it's covert emotional manipulation. It's covert messaging that tells you that there's only one acceptable way of living as a woman, and that is having a job or a career. It's just not the truth.
Feminism is a tool used to change social structure, family dynamics. Feminism is just destroying two-parent homes and creating division between women and men. They're attacking stay-at-home mums because they're jealous. There's simply no other way to put it. If feminists truly supported women, they wouldn't be shaming stay-at-home mums for choosing a lifestyle that brings them fulfillment. They always say feminism is about choice. But when a woman makes the choice to stay home and participate in a traditional structure, they shame her. Where's the feminism in that? Where's the choice in that? What it seems like is that feminism isn't about empowering all women. It's about pushing a specific narrative, one where only certain choices are deemed acceptable. If a woman's decision doesn't align with the modern feminist ideal of career over family or independence over partnership, she's suddenly seen as a problem, not as someone exercising her freedom. The irony is that the very women feminists claim to support are the ones being shamed and silenced.
Can you name one job that men have besides being a misogynistic asshole that women can't do?
Sperm donor.
So I posted some videos talking about issues with men, and it was mostly men that commented, and everything that they said just confirmed what I had been saying, and they don't see it. So at this point, can we just send men to Guantanamo Bay, and they can work out their little loneliness epidemic together while we create a better society, and then maybe slowly we can let them back in.
Create a better society, you say? Matter of fact, I'll just stop right there.
This is a list of the same women that hate men. The same women that hate men don't know what they want, don't have self-respect or self-worth, and so they literally take whatever guy that comes their way. They go on dates with men for free meals. You don't respect men. So then you're attracting men that don't respect you. They talk to men that they don't like because they like the attention. Again, self-respect thing. They hook up on the first date while they say they want a man that wants them for only them and not their body. gets into a relationship with a man she thinks she can fix or change.
I don't know if I can even with this, but the level of gaslighting is just... Regardless of whether or not the definition of feminism has the words equal rights in it, does not necessarily mean that the feminist movement is advocating for equal rights. The feminist movement has turned into a movement about women, for women, and a particular subset of women that have beliefs that not all women agree with. So how can you advocate for all women while disagreeing with a large percentage of the female population? You can't. Additionally, when a feminist comes along and says, you don't want equality if you're not a feminist, well, that's gaslighting, completely and total gaslighting. And two, you don't have to be a feminist to want equality. You don't have to be a feminist to advocate for equality. You can want both. You can want equality for all humans and be a member of a different group. You could be an MRA. You could be an egalitarian. You could be a member of the LGBTQIA plus community. You could be a member of a disability advocacy group and still want equality and not agree with feminism. Modern feminist movement has become radicalized, and there's a subset within your movement that is not for equality. They are for superiority of a particular group of women that look alike, act alike, and think alike. A lot of women disagree with feminism, and a lot of men disagree with feminism as it is portrayed in the modern day society. Have the day you deserve. Bye!
The definition and the actual movement are two completely different things. Feminism claims to be about equality, but as most of us can clearly see, it has nothing to do with fairness or balance. It's an ideology rooted in the hatred of men and boys, pushing the idea that women are perpetual victims, while men are the eternal oppressors. In reality, feminism today isn't about equal rights. It's about power and special status for women in all aspects of life. It's about creating advantages for women while pretending they're still oppressed. Women get the benefits of both traditional and modern roles, while men are left to carry the burdens of both. And let's not forget how they frame every issue to benefit them. When women succeed, it's because they worked hard. When men succeed, it's because of privilege or patriarchy. When women fail, it's society's fault. When men fail, it's their own fault. This entire movement is built on shifting blame and ensuring that women get special treatment under the guise of equality.
I hate internet feminism with every fiber of my being. And by internet feminism, I mean feminism. Saw a video where a woman got on this app and basically shit on another woman. This commenter was basically like, I want to support the 4B movement, but I want to find a partner. I want love. I'll make sure they're an ally, but like I don't know if this is something I can partake in, right? And this girl went in on that commenter, and all of her points were bullshit. And every point that was made in the comment section was bullshit. Honestly, I wasn't surprised by it. There's something so familiar, almost like chicken noodle soup.
Why is it so hard for you men to admit that women are at a physical disadvantage when coming up against an angry man? And you know it. You blame us for staying with abusive men, then you blame us for leaving those abusive men and creating a single mother household. So far, I've heard 0 solutions and just a bunch of complaining. Women can't change this. The change lies with men. You guys don't listen to us. When we say no, don't assault us, don't attack us, don't grape us, don't impregnate us, you don't listen. The only people that you will listen to are other men, and all you guys do is egg each other on with your bad behavior. The few good men that are out there are doing the work and are speaking up. But most of the men aren't. They spend their time in my comments bitching.
I don't think men blame women for leaving abusive men either. If anything, men wonder why some women don't recognize the red flags earlier on, before entering these toxic relationships or marriages. It's baffling because in many cases, the warning signs are there from the beginning. Yet, instead of avoiding these men, some women repeatedly choose them. It raises the question, why do these women keep picking the same types of men while bypassing the good ones who would treat them with respect and care? By the way, it's important to point out that while there are domestic abusers on both sides, Statistics consistently show that there are far more male victims of abuse than society acknowledges. Yet, this issue rarely gets the attention it deserves. You don't hear women bringing it up, even though it's a significant part of the conversation about abuse and healthy relationships. They just love painting men to be the bad guys.
You class yourself as a feminist?
Yeah.
So feminism, in my understanding, is it's all about equality, right?
No.
Women weren't allowed to go into education the same ways as men, so they fought for that equality. So that's generally the definition people refer to, like the equality of both genders.
I find it interesting that you define it as equality. I never heard it before.
Yeah.
For me, feminism is just like being able to choose what I want. If I want to be a 50-50 girl, I can be. If I want to be a trophy wife, I can also be. Because that's what feminism preaches, is just like you can choose what you want for your life, or who you want to be, or what you want to do.
Do you not think that's like having your cake and eating it too? Like, I want only the things that benefit me. And, you know, it's not about equality. If there's things that don't benefit men, I don't care. It's about whatever I want.
When they say it better than I ever could, I just let them speak.
Does anyone know how I can cancel my membership to the whole feminist movement? Because it's not giving what it was supposed to give, so I'm no longer interested. Even the word feminist, what is feminine about me working hard and paying bills? Back then I'm singing independent. I don't know what possessed me to be singing such nonsense. It was the work of the devil, to be wanting equal this and equal that. How the man to be doing the manly things and the woman to be doing damsel in distress. Oh, I don't know what I would do without you. Because me, I need the man. For every little thing I want to be calling my man. Because who'll be reaching the top shelf for me? Who'll be killing spiders? Fine babe like me should be coming and killing spiders. Do I look like Xena the warrior princess? Listen, I don't know who brainwashed us. I don't know who started the movement. If it was Susan B. Anthony and the suffrage rights. But I'm suffering more today than I was yesterday. So please, whoever's in charge, unsubscribe me from the list. Cancel the membership now!
Her words rang so true to me. As a former feminist, I feel like I was dealt a lie. And it's why I speak out vocally against the feminist movement.
Her frustration came from the fact that she realizes that feminism is a lie. It's not exactly what it was promised to be. She was sold an idea of empowerment, choice, and equality. But what she's witnessing today is something entirely different. The thing is, many women are actually suffering because of this. They don't enjoy the lifestyle that they have, and deep down, they don't want to be like men. The reality is, many women hate the fact that they have to pay bills just like this woman, even though they're adults. It's not that they can't, it's that they weren't prepared for the emotional, psychological, and even physical toll that comes with carrying the full weight of adult responsibilities. They're tired of having to be everything, provider, caretaker, decision-maker, on their own. They've been told they should be strong, independent, and self-sufficient, and while these qualities are important, the expectation that they should carry the entire burden of modern life on their own is draining. It's a constant battle against exhaustion, and despite their best efforts, they're finding that their sense of fulfillment is fading.
You're talking to a girl and she gets flirted with, and then later she kind of jokes with you and she's like, are you jealous?
I think if a guy hears that, that should be his first clue to run in the opposite direction.
And you say no? Wrong answer!
But is it really?
As a girl, we just want some slight confirmation, okay? It doesn't have to be anything too crazy or over the top.
Keyword there, girl. It seems some girls want guys that are basically insecure, while most women prefer men that are confident.
So what you do is you forget the word boyfriend and girlfriend exists.
I actually think feminism is the most bullshit thing ever. People think that feminism was created for women, but in reality, it was created by men. Back in the 1920s, the workforce was only at 50% of the productivity that it is today because only around 50% of the population, aka men only, were working. And then they were like, we can actually increase that to 2x if we just tell women about this feminism thing and make them work as well. And after that, women gets to go to school and to work. And now men has a new expectation in dating is the 50-50 split. As in, men don't want to be in their masculine energy and be the provider anymore. They expect women to bring the same thing as them to the table.
Well, women were the ones who wanted to enter the workforce. They wanted the same opportunities as men, and now they've got it. They fought for equality. They demanded equal pay, equal rights, and equal responsibilities in society. So why shouldn't women be paying their fair share on a date? That wouldn't be equal now, would it? If equality is truly the goal, then it should apply across the board, not just when it's convenient or beneficial. And here's the thing. Most men are still masculine and very much providers. They're not against taking care of their families or being the traditional man, but they're no longer willing to let women take advantage of them. You can't demand equality while simultaneously expecting men to uphold the traditional roles of footing the bill and bearing all the responsibilities in relationships. You can't have it both ways. It just doesn't work. This contradiction is why so many men have started pulling back.